tonight is about like strength and the power that God gives us. So that's kind of where this mini message comes from. The scripture I found was Exodus 15:2. It says, "The Lord is my strength and my song, and He has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise Him. My Father's God, and I will exalt Him." So so I was watching this movie the other day called Unbreakable, and I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I'm going to give you a little synopsis.
Okay.
So there's one man who is unbreakable, and there's another man by the name of Mr. Glass. And so these two characters are supposed to be kind of like on the opposite ends of this spectrum of this like world, I guess. They have the opposite issues. So Mr. Glass, he's fragile, like his name. He like breaks his bones all the time. He has all these issues. He has like a disease that makes his bones really weak. And on the other side, there's this man that looks like he's unbreakable. He's been in all these car crashes and train wrecks and all these different things that should have killed him. And he ends up being like the sole survivor. So I watched the movie and I was like, this movie sucks. But apparently I needed to watch it because that was just speaking to me about who do you want to be? Mr. Glass or Unbreakable? And like I said, so Mr. Glass, he's fragile. He's always, he's constantly breaking an arm, a leg, or he's always breaking his arms. In the movie, when he was a little kid, they gave him the name Mr. Glass because they were like teasing him about his disease, about how easy he was to break. And I just thought about that when we are by ourselves, when we try to do things in our own strength, that we really are fragile. We're fragile to things that people say to us, fragile to things people do to us, fragile to things that we think people have done to us, or think they have said to us. And sometimes people react in that way, in a way that makes it come off like, oh, I'm tough, I'm this tough guy, like nothing you say can hurt me, sticks and stones may break my bones, but everyone hurts in our own humanness, in our own strength, in our own who we are. That's just how we are. We are prone to break sometimes in our own strength. And sometimes we can be taunted for that. So I think I'm a really emotional person. Like when people hurt, not even when people hurt me, but when people hurt people I love or people I care about, that hurts me. And so it's kind of like when people are like, oh, well, you're so emotional, or oh, why do you let this get to you? Well, that's just how I am. That's just who God made me. So sometimes people will taunt you for who God has made you. And that can also lead to those breaks or those situations that kind of beat us up. And the other thing is being Mr. Glass. If you have a child that's prone to break an arm or a leg, you would probably keep him in a bubble, right? Like, you're not going outside, you're not playing on the sidewalk, you're not playing in the house, you're not playing anywhere. You're not doing anything because you are just, I want to keep you in this little bubble. And we do that to ourselves sometimes. Oh, I've been hurt before, so I'm not going to ever love anybody again. Or I'm not going to ever put myself out there again because I don't want to break again. Right? And that's logical. Who wants to repeat hurt? Nobody. But on the flip side of that is that keeps us in this fear. So another scene from the movie is like the boy that Mr. Glass, when he was young, his mother put a gift out on the park bench across from their house. And so he's in the house and he's like, I'm not going out there. And she's like, well, I have a gift for you. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to go out there and break my arm or break my leg. And she's like, well, you can't get the gift unless you go out to get the gift. So he goes out, he gets the gift, and it's like a comic book or something. But the thing that spoke to me from that is that when we live in fear, sometimes we miss out on the gifts that God has for us.
Amen.
The blessings that God has for us. Because like I said, you know, it makes sense in our humanness. If I just broke my arm, I'm not going to cross the street because I might break my leg. But God is saying you have to step out and trust that He has you, because He has gifts. He has blessings. He has a multitude of things that He wants to give you. It's like this giant Christmas tree on the other side of the street. He's like, it's there. It's just waiting. All of these presents have your name on them. Can't nobody else take them but you. So keeping yourself in that fear, keeping yourself in that bubble will make you miss out on your blessing.
Amen.
So that's Mr. Glass.
Mr. Glass.
So the Unbreakable is, like his name, he's been in these traumatic accidents. He's been in a car crash. He's been in a train wreck. He's been in the car wreck. The car had flipped over and like bent up and everything, and he was with someone else. He pulled the door off to save the other person. And so what that said to me is that when you are with God, when you are trusting God, that you will be stronger than you even think of. That things that will come, so he's unbreakable. It didn't mean that he didn't get in a car crash. It didn't mean that he wasn't in a train wreck. Those things still happen, but what happened to him is that he comes out.
Right.
And so in our lives, God will say, things will still happen to you.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will be very traumatic things that still happen to you. But fortunately, if we rely on God and we go to God when we have these situations, we can leave those situations. We can come out of that train wreck better.
Amen.
Amen.
We can come out of that train wreck alive.
Amen.
Because sometimes some people get into train wrecks and they come out, but they don't come out the same.
Right.
They don't come out whole. They don't come out in a way that's healthy.
Right.
They come out broken. They come out dismembered. And sometimes, not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense, sometimes people come out of situations and they are wrecked, torn apart.
Right.
Which is something we need to think about when we're dealing with people. Because just because you came out of the train wreck hunky-dory, doesn't mean that someone else did.
That's right.
But we have to remember that not everybody's going to come out of situations the same way.
Right.
And then the other thing with the Unbreakable is that he had these unique abilities. So he could touch people and kind of see whether they were good or bad, basically. And what that said to me was, God will give us discernment.
Right.
Yeah.
When we are trusting Him and we're saying, okay, I don't know which way to go, here, there, who are these people, do I connect with them? He'll give us that insight and say, no, don't go this way, go right, go left, talk to them, don't, keep yourself safe here, but go out here and minister here. So he gives us unique abilities to be able to know those steps. And I'm a person that likes to plan things out, and I like to know every step from A to Z, 1 to 100. And he doesn't give me those, so I just deal with it. But if you ask God for wisdom, and if you ask God for guidance, He's always willing to give that to you.
Amen.
And that's something that we talked about last Sunday, I believe, where Moses had to go up to the mountain, and he had to keep going. He's like, you got first step? Okay, then you came back down to the mountain, tell everybody else. Came back up to the mountain, got the next step, come back down, tell everybody else. Go back up, get some more stretches, come back down, tell everybody else. That's how we have to be in order to stay in that space where we are constantly checking ourselves, constantly reminding ourselves, okay, the Lord did this for me. What do I do now? The Lord telling me do this. Okay, what do I do now? So that we can stay in this place where we are unbreakable. So, I guess my question is, who do you want to be? Do you want to be Mr. Glass, trying to figure things out all on your own? You know, you may be strong, but are you that strong? Can you withstand the things that are going to come in your life? The things that people are going to do and say on your own? Or do you want to be unbreakable and have the Lord give you the strength to go through things that should kill you, to go through things that should have taken you away and taken your purpose out? Because that's what the enemy wants. He is those traumatic things. He's constantly like throwing those things at you. And sometimes the Lord allows them because it is for us to believe in Him, to build our strength in His plan. Because at the end of the day, no matter what we've gone through, He's always able to work it out for our good.
Amen.
But that's the devil. That's the devil that sometimes will come at you with things and try and throw you off and try to kill you and try to ruin you, because he doesn't know what God has for us. He knows that we all have a purpose, but he doesn't know what it is. So if he sees you moving up in the Lord and you getting stronger in the Lord, he gets worried. And he's like, I should just kill him now so that way I don't have to worry about this anymore. So that's why sometimes when we take a step further in the Lord, it feels like we take 76 steps back. Because it's like, well, everything's coming and nothing's going right and everybody's talking about me, blah, blah, blah. That's because he wants to get you off of that step. But you have to say no.
Amen.
I know what the Lord told me. I know what the Lord promised me. I see it happening. I'm just going to stay here.
Amen.
Until he gives me the next steps.
Right.
So, that's all I have.
Praise God.
If anyone feels, I'm sorry, I have a prophecy for you. So, I noticed that sometimes you come to church and you come and you stand right here, and the Lord's been showing me that, and he's saying that that's on purpose. He says, when you do that, it's like you're standing guard. Mm-hmm. And he says, I'm calling you to kind of be like a soldier in this house. So you're going to stand guard and kind of be able to, like what we were talking about, like seeing the spirits that come in. You're going to be able to kind of see and identify people when they come in, what spirit they have. And, you know, you'll be able to kind of instantly start praying to that spirit if it's not of God, if it's not what needs to be in this house. So he says, you keep standing guard. And he says he's going to continue to strengthen you and continue to build you so you can work on that guard post.
Amen.